Let me guess. You met a girl. She's really pretty. She's really sweet, but she's not super forthcoming with her interests. You think she likes you, but you're not really sure. And you think that it makes sense for you to apply some pressure. This may be your first real male-female interaction that could go somewhere. Maybe that she has similar interests to you. Maybe that she just is your ideal archetype. Regardless of the circumstances, you are contemplating putting in pressure to chase her. Well, congratulations. This is a rite of passage for every man. Every man must go through chasing their first girl. Now, I'm not going to tell you not to chase her, right? What I will do is provide you with the pros and cons of chasing her, and then hopefully at the end of the video, you can make an informed decision on whether or not it makes sense to do so. And hopefully I can educate you on avoiding the same pitfalls that I fell into. The first pro of chasing a woman: certified lover boy. What do I mean by that? Well, when you first find a woman that you believe is worth it, and her interest is not easy or forthcoming, you unlock a dormant part of your brain. Now, mostly your brain is focused on, sports, gym, maybe anime, comic books, some other third interests, and maybe smashing girls. But you don't really work out the romance muscle, right? Maybe you never had to, maybe you never needed to, maybe you never wanted to, maybe you're too scared to, but you never really worked it out. But when you finally decide, I want her, and I will do whatever it takes to get her, your romance gene or section of your brain is fully unlocked. A lot of people will tell you, women are the romantics. Women are the ones that watch all the movies, read all the books, think of all the fantasy scenarios, right? They're the true romantics. But when you hold that up to scrutiny, when you really look at it in the light, you realize it's not necessarily true, is it? They're not the romantics per se, but they are the true receivers of romance. A woman will take, absorb, receive romance, for sure. They may even appreciate the romance, but they are not inherently romantic. The ones that are inherently romantic are, you guessed it, the men. How do the men get romantic? Because they have to woo the girl. Because the girl's interests are not clear-cut. So because they're not clear-cut, the guy has to devise creative, innovative, manipulative ways to get the girl to either develop feelings, realize her feelings, or announce her feelings for that man. Now listen, I am gonna be completely honest. I am one of the most romantic motherfuckers you'll ever meet, okay? Now, I don't chase women anymore. I don't. But when I did, Casanova, that nigga from Gone with the Wind, that nigga from Titanic, any romantic icon figure that you could think of, they couldn't fuck with me, okay? I was the romance kid, all right? I would think of things that it was like, you know how Newton felt when he discovered the laws of gravity and he was like, yo, like, I'm really him. That's how I am when it comes to romance. I'm really that dude, okay? How do I know that? Literally, and I shit you not, every girlfriend that I've ever had, and some girls that I dated that weren't officially my girlfriends, fell in love with me, bro. It's to the point where if me and her were talking for more than a month, her falling in love with me was basically inevitable. There was no like, oh, I wonder if. It always happened. Because one thing a nigga like me, I'm romantical. I'm sorry. I might have a gift. I might be a savant. I'm just being honest with you. I'm just a romantic nigga. I love planning dates. I love doing all that stuff. But once again, that's when I used to chase them. I don't chase them no more. But when I was, couldn't touch me. Now, what you'll find is that because you are interested in this girl and you really want to figure out a way to get her attention, you're going to realize that you are a lot more creative than you thought you were. You're going to really start to be innovative and just really think of really creative ways to get her attention. And once this romantic path has been opened, you'll start to study her. You start to learn her habits, her likes, her dislikes, her wants, her needs, her dreams, her fears. You'll pick her apart and put her back together until you know her inside out, except the way you want to. And you'll come up with ideas that you never thought possible. Like, oh, I bet if I do this at this specific time on this specific day, it will really, really make her feel good and make her think, oh, he did that? Well, maybe I should be with him if he makes me feel this good. And you'll just keep like engaging your romantic muscle. Just keep like becoming more creative. You'll plan dates, make cards, write letters. Every day something new will pop up in your head and you're just like, whoa, I should have loved this if I do this for her, right? And now it's just flooded with new ideas and new activity. And you're just like, yo, This feels great. I love doing this, right? Now, obviously, there is a cost that comes with you putting that much energy into romantic gestures and thoughts, but it does feel good when you're in it, okay? So that is the first pro of chasing a woman. The second pro of chasing a woman, teenage fever. Once again, call back to a Drake song. What do I mean by that? In my opinion, I don't think you're truly in love until you have some level of reciprocation from the woman. Before that, when her feelings are a mystery to you, it's just really intense infatuation. But that infatuation, that pre-love to in love, like it is a potent drug, let me tell you. Because suddenly you can't stop thinking about her. Everything that you do suddenly just revolves around her. The music you listen to, the shows you watch, the media that you consume, it all just leads back to her. You find yourself anticipating when you can see her. And when you see her, it just makes your whole day. Now, because she is the object of your affection and not actively returning your affection, it's fairly one-sided. But in that one-sidedness, it's comforting because you can still technically be delusional. Like, yeah, man, just wait until she notices me, wait until she sees me, wait until she realizes how much I care about her. And like, you're gonna really be in it, you know? You're gonna really just be absorbed in it. And it's just gonna take up all your time. And yes, once again, there is a cost to this that you will have to pay later. But in that moment, you're not thinking about the cost. You're just present. And thinking about this woman that is the object of your desire, and every little thing that she does is just another reason why you care about her, right? It's beautiful, naive, but beautiful nonetheless. And like I said before actually being in love, that pre-love, that infatuation, it's amazing. Once again, not something I particularly partake in anymore, but when I did, it felt great. And the third or the last pro of chasing a woman, passion fruit. Once again, like I said, these are Drake themed. What do I mean though? Well, after you've labored, you've endeavored with a bunch of plans and calculated events and gifts and ideas and everything, and all your work, all your labor finally bears fruit, passion fruit, and she finally reciprocates. Once again, I don't do this anymore. Just let you know, even though I'm gassing this up, I do not do this anymore. But when I did, oh my God, brother, if I can take that feeling, put it in a jar, put it in a cup, put it in a fucking pill bottle, and sell that, I'd be a trillionaire. Cause that feeling is, whoa, all that work you put in to get her to notice you, and then she finally admits that she likes you. See, I'm getting flashbacks. Once again, I don't do this anymore. I don't. And for good reason. I'll let you know in a bit. But this pro is not to be understated. The feeling that you get is like crack, heroin, meth, ecstasy. It's all of it. And somehow still better because it's purer. It's not a drug that you ingested. It just comes from your own perspective of reality. It's, oh, man. Anyway, the payoff is fantastic, okay? It's a fantastic payoff, right? There's not really many feelings that equate to it, right? But once again, as I've been saying throughout this whole video, there is a cost that comes with that, right? But this is a pro, the last pro. Now that we've established the pros of chasing a woman, now we can go over the cons, because there are cons. You think all that good shit was for free? No, you gotta pay the piper, man. You gotta pay, okay? The first con of chasing a woman, worse behavior. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I don't know if you paid attention, my guy, but you did a lot of work to get here. You planned a lot of stuff. You gave her a lot of stuff. You thought about her a lot. It was a lot of work you did to finally get her to realize that she has feelings for you. That wasn't just no little shit, bro. I mean, it could have took weeks or months or even longer. You put a lot of effort in that. Here's the problem. With women, if you set a precedent, you have to maintain it. You can't just regress. Women cannot go back in lifestyle. They can't. So what does that mean? That same effort that you did to get her, you have to keep doing it over and over and over and over again. Because if you take your foot off the pedal, if you relax, if you say, oh, okay, I finally got you. Now I don't have to give you flowers every day. Now I don't have to be romantic as much as I was before. Now I don't have to buy shit for you all the time. Now I don't have to put your needs before mine anymore. I can finally be who I am naturally, right? Wrong. Because as soon as you turn off the tap, as soon as you lower the tempo, now she becomes bitchy. She's on her worst behavior. She's like, well, you used to do this for me. You used to do that for me. You used to buy me this. You used to take me there. You used to do that. And you're just like, yeah, but I did that to get you. I got you now. So I shouldn't have to keep doing that, right? No. If you got me that way and you want to keep me, you better keep doing that shit. And obviously, you know as well as I do that level of effort, that level of focus, that level of intent is not sustainable. And when you finally get that reality check, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I did all that work. Yeah, I technically got her, but this is what I have to do to keep her? And if I don't do this, she's going to become bitchy? I don't like this. I don't like where this is going. All right? That is the first con of chasing her. The second con of chasing a woman, Marvin's room. Once again, these are all Drake themed. What do I mean though? Well, whether you kept up the effort that you put in to get her or not, either way, here's what's guaranteed to happen. She will get tired of you. That's inevitable. And one day you'll start to notice that her calls are becoming less frequent. She's not opting to hang out with you as much. She's not trying to see you as often. Even if you try to, put in some more intensity back into a relationship, just do more effort, it just doesn't hit the same. She's not as affected by it anymore. She becomes used to it because human nature is to adapt to a changing environment. If she becomes used to you buying her flowers every day, sending her good morning text every day, or if you get her and stop doing that, either way, she's going to become bored. And the worst thing that you can do to a woman is not cheat on her, not hit her, not disrespect her, not mistreat her. The worst thing that you can do to a woman, in her eyes, is bore her. And because of the way you started, her boredom is inevitable. Because you wanted to chase her, right? That was your she wasn't putting forth the obvious choosing signals, and you thought, fuck it, I'm gonna make her like me. And you did make her like you. Congrats. You made her like you. But now you gotta keep doing it. And even if you keep doing it, she's still gonna change her mind. She's still gonna get bored. She's still gonna be like, I'm done with this movie. I'm done with this show. I'm done with this. We're playing with this toy. I'm cool. I want something else now. And she ends up in Marvin's room. And the final con of chasing a woman, jaded. Once again, it's Drake themed. So, she's gone. You tried your best. You got her. You couldn't keep up the pace. Or you did keep up the pace and she still left anyway. And now you're shattered, broken, thinking, what was it all for? And remember how I said earlier that the feeling of infatuation, when she's the object of your affection but hasn't realized her feelings yet, and then when you finally get her and she reciprocates, those feelings, I told you how good they felt, right? I also told you have to pay for them. See, here's the problem. However good you felt when you were infatuated with her, or you were in love with her, you're gonna have to pay that times 4 when she leaves you. You realize that, right? Like that doesn't come free. That feeling was not free. Like Isaac Newton said, for every reaction, there is an equal and opposite action. You got to pay. And that payment is shattering your heart into a million little pieces, scarring you for life. That's the payment you got to make, which is once again why I don't chase bitches no more. No. Chasing me? Not anymore. I used to. I will not lie. I used to. And I used to go through that cycle of infatuation and love and heartbreak, infatuation and love, heartbreak, infatuation, love, heartbreak. And eventually I'd accrued a debt. Because remember, the heartbreak is 4 times worse than the infatuation and the in-love combined. So overall, I was net negative. And I realized I can't keep doing this. There must be another way. And that's when I started to study women and understand them better and became the man I am today. But before that happened, I had to pay. And that pain, it's potent. It's sharp. And then when it's not sharp, it gets dull, but somehow that's even more painful than when it was sharp. Oh my God. One silver lining though. The music, when you are heartbroken and you find a song that relates exactly to what you're going through, that is like an island in the sea of sorrow, where it's that one little piece. For those 3 minutes and 34 seconds, you are like whole because you find company in your misery. But then when the song's over, all the feeling comes rushing back and you're suffering again. Anyway, so now we went over the pros and cons of chasing a woman. And as I told you at the beginning of the video, this is something that I don't do anymore, as you can now probably guess why. So what is the alternative? What is the solution? I'll tell you. Instead of chasing, you wait for mutual initial interest. Meaning, you're interested in her, and she's also interested in you. There's no will they, won't they? There's no wondering, I don't know how she feels. No, she makes it very clear that she's interested in you. She makes it obvious that she likes you. Instead of her being a recipient to your love, to your affection, to your desire, it becomes a mutually beneficial relationship. She gives to you, you give to her, you both give to each other. And that allows you to start at a pace that you can keep. Because if you're giving and she's giving, you have to pause to receive, she has to pause to receive, and you're moving at the same speed because it's a marathon. But when you're just giving, and she's taking, you're building up too much speed too fast. You can't keep this up. You know that. There has to be a push and pull, has to be a give and take. And only then will the relationship last much longer. Now, doesn't mean that everything's gonna go well. 99% of relationships fail, we should know that. But it's not gonna be as painful if it does end. Because just like how you had to give, so did she. So when it does end, you're not the only one hurting. And you can take comfort in that. Or you can do what I do. And what I do is I treat it like a reward system. She shows me love, she shows me affection, she puts effort into me. I start to reward her. When she tapers off, I take the rewards away. So where I never feel like I'm at a loss because I'm only putting back what was invested into me, so it's a net zero. No loss or gain. And if she starts to taper off with her interest, with her desire, with her effort, then I taper off. So that way, I don't lose anything if she stops being affectionate. That keeps me the most protected and is the most wise for me to keep a clear head so I don't fall head over heels in love or anything like that. I can't fall in love anymore because I do this that way. But not everyone can operate like this because you have to master your emotions and become stoic. So it really is up to you. You can do the mutual way, do that, or you can do it the meritocracy way and just reward her good behavior and punish her bad behavior. It's really up to you and what you think is the best. You know your body and your emotions better than I do. But I gave you two options for a way to mitigate that, but one thing's for certain, chasing doesn't work. Maybe it used to work 100, 200, 500 years ago. Don't work like that no more, bro. Sorry. That's it for today, guys. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm King's Wisdom. You're welcome.